this video, we are going to learn how to create our sales forecasting with the using micros code. Okay, so I have this short data like a date sales. Okay, from this date, the sales happen 1000. Okay, but I want to forecast for a next date like a 4/7/2023. Okay, so what will be the sales? Okay, so how we can do the manually, the process is a little bit a long bit, but if you create a one code for your data and you can see how you can forecast or okay, so it's basically whenever you are forecasting something, that usually that takes your frequent value, but most of the time that will check the average of your this one. Okay, so if average have 11,000, so that will give as your forecasting value as well. Okay, so let's perform with the using our macros code. Go to your developer tab, click on your visual basics. Okay, now in the visual basics, and for a shortcut, press alt F11 to go to developer tab, go to visual basic, and then your tab will be open this one. And in the project view, there all the sheets are visible here, whichever you open here. Okay, so this is all the all sheet. If you have more than lots of workbook as well, so after this workbook you have the second workbook. Okay, so this is my second workbook. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this is, and then go to your that which sheet you are working on, and right click on that, go to insert, click on module for your code editor. Okay, so now sub, you already know it, how it is a substitute name as a sales forecasting. Okay, so this is the name of your code or substitute. Okay, so substitute like means it is a block of your code, okay, that performing like your specific task. Okay, the purpose of, what is the purpose of substitute now? To the forecast sales. Okay, so this is our block of code and this is the purpose of, or this is the name of your code. Now sales for which next date we are forecasting. So now ws is a as a variable, it's a declare our worksheet object, and we use as a set keyword to assign our worksheet name as a sales. Okay, so this is our variable and we are assigning this object is, we have this sales. Okay, now we are working with this sales. Okay, now again we have dim last row as a long. Okay, so here again means declare the variable last row as a long. Okay, so the purpose of code will be to find that row with the data in a column A. It means the date column, whatever we already saw in a data, that A column. Okay, of the sales that worksheet. Okay, so ws dot rows dot count. Okay, so as already we saw in the like last previous task reminder as well, like it will be ws dot rows dot count. Okay, so it gives the total number of rows in your worksheet. Okay, and ws sales ws rows that count A, it means that representing the sales in the last row of your column A. What is the last sale of your column? That A, it means the date value, and end xl up up, you can see. Okay, this one. Okay, so this like method moves up from the last row until it's find the first non-empty cell. Okay, and rows is gives the row number of that cell. Okay, so the way last row will store the row number of the last non-empty cell from column A, and which represent the last row with your sales data. Okay, now we have dim sales sum and double, you can see. Okay, dim sales sum as a double. Okay, so it is the calculating the total sales by looping through the sales worksheet from your row 2 to last row. Okay, So it is calculating our total sales by looping through sales. Okay, it is looping through because you can add to last. So it is moving, iterating here. Okay. Now we have sales equal to like total sum, that is our finding from, means a total from that sales. Okay, we are calculating the average sales by dividing the total number of, okay, you can see total sum plus, okay, dividing the total like sales sum by the number of the rows with the sales data, like including header rows and the hence last row. Okay, so you can see we can calculating the average sales equal to sales sum divided by last row minus 1. Okay, now here you can see get the last date from the data set. Now we want a last date from, okay, so we are retrieving the value of the last date in the column A, it means the data or date column, and sales worksheet, and then store in the variable last date. You can see here last row as A from the A column. Now forecast sales for the next date. Okay, now here we are doing the forecasting. Okay, so like a forecast the sales for the next date. Okay, and we add 1 day to the last date, means because we know last date was our this one. Okay, we already see the last date was our 3/7/2000, but we are adding +1 because we want to forecast. That is why last date +1, it means 4/7/2023. Okay, so that will our next date up to here. Now you can see adding the date to the last date, it means now I want a message box, that's why I create a message box. Message box is creating a very simple, we just write a message box equals to, or you in a double quotation you write it forecasted sales for, and format we want a next date here. Okay, so next date, which date, and let me show you the average sales. Okay, this is our average sale now, whatever we calculated. Okay, in the double keyword we are showing the in the message box. Okay, if I run this one, you can see forecasted sales for date. Okay, date I already told you, there is the format for a date for a last date +1, that will the next date. So 4/7/2023 and 100/1000 will be our next, probably the next sale. Okay, so this is all about our how we can forecast our sales.